Red Bull Audi showed up at home in Austria and got a double podium. The question is, can they continue that performance into this weekend with their two drivers? We saw signs of usual McLaren strengths as well as potential speed from Ferrari, although their reliability issues still appear to be a present issue.
Okay, Gary, a great round for the team in Austria. Let's back it up this weekend.
Yep, 10-4. Great first round in Austria.
Round 2 set to kick off in this final season of the F1 23 Driver Career Mode. Hello everybody, welcome back to a brand new episode. We're coming off of a double podium for Red Bull Audi. Of course, this new collaboration and partnership with Audi moving on from Ford has gotten off to a hot start with our teammate Felipe Drugovich picking up the win in the season opener in Austria. P3 for us. I was pretty happy overall with that. Charles Leclerc, of course, ends up second place in his first race for McLaren. However, coming into this weekend, going to be an interesting one. We've got some weather that's going to play a role in the outcome of this race. It's supposed to rain based off the forecast all race long, but as well qualifying is expected to see some rain as well. So it's going to be interesting to see the dynamic here and what happens. So overall, I was pretty content with the car in free practice 1 on Friday afternoon. As you can see towards the bottom of the grid there, you got unfortunately the Audi Williams, the Maloney and Vesti, but as well Liam Lawson in the BMW Andretti machine. As we roll through into Saturday now afternoon, ready for some qualifying, starting out with some overcast skies. Rain at this moment was a minute or two away. It was just getting ready to start sprinkling down a little bit here, so it was crucial to get out on track basically as soon as possible, and that's what we would do. We would get out on track as quick as we can, and you can see already the rain is falling here, and you can see a lot of cars are still in the pit lane, and it's going to be crucial just getting in a lap as early as you can. So anyone that's on the pit lane right now is going to be in trouble. We cross the line, we only go P8, and you can see Drugovich only manages 15th, Doohan 16th, Leclerc would put in a late lap, and he's actually going to be out in Q1. He would be 16th as the rain would continue to fall. Yuri Vips there, P13. Actually, he's on an intermediate tire right there, but Drugovich barely squeezes through, but big names of Leclerc and Norris all out in Q1. Lando Norris had a solid first round with the brand new Lamborghini team. So now Q2, we're on the intermediate Bridgestone tire here, getting ready to just settle in and focus in and be really patient here because the rain was really coming down. Honestly, at this point, it almost felt like it was time to switch over to a wet compound tire, but everybody was on the inters, so really just trying to be patient and get the best lap possible in that we can and hope it's going to be enough to put us through into Q number 3 here. As we come through now to the line, we're actually going to go P2, so quite satisfied with that effort. I would make a second lap and I would find only like half a tenth, so we don't gain anything on track position wise, but look at this. Yuri Vips out in Q2 and our teammate of Drugovich out because the rain continued really to just get heavier, kind of like what we saw in Q1. So unfortunately, Drugovich, your last round winner, out in P15. We roll through into Q3, and you can see it's significantly better conditions now. The rain is not falling anywhere as close as what it was earlier, but it actually started as a heavier rain, and drivers were on wets originally. So everybody's coming in right now, or out right now, on the intermediate tire, and you're going to see the lap times right there. Calimero briefly goes pole position, but the conditions are continuing to improve dramatically as the lap goes on. And we're going to be the last one to set a lap, so we might be in perfect position here to get pole position. Aiden Jackson went top of the board, but hold on, we're going to round this final turn, head down this front straightaway, and I think we're in the perfect position to score P1 here for the French Grand Prix. Coming to the line, it's pole position.
Fantastic, you've got pole position.
Let's go, boys. Awesome stuff. Come on.
You hear the excitement there from Mark and myself. Pole position by nearly a full second due to just the conditions increasing as that lap was going. How about Zane Maloney in Q3? Marino Sato as well for Lamborghini. A lot of diversity up here. Aiden Jackson P2. Jamie Chadwick P3 with Calimero joining her in 4th place. Let's head to the grid for a wet Grand Prix.
Hello and
welcome from the Circuit Paul Ricard, current home of the French Grand Prix, an event dating all the way back to 1906. Now, it's been held at many venues over the years, with famous moments from Dijon and Manicourt, the feature of many a highlights reel. So let's hope we see more of those in the race today. We have 15 corners here at the Circuit Paul Ricard, 6 to the left and 9 to the right, but the rain is coming down and making for a slippery racing surface. Luckily, there is plenty of runoff area available, and hopefully we'll be able to avoid bringing out a safety car during today's Grand Prix. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Golden Boy lines up on pole position, and it's Aiden Jackson alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Chadwick, Mayer, Albon, Behrman, Russell, Maloney, Sato, Oscar Piastri, Yuri Vips, Liam Lawson, Mick Schumacher, Drugovich, Gasly, Doohan, Leclerc, Norris, Vesti and Yuki Tsunoda. Now it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track. It's not going to be plain sailing for our drivers today, although with the sky falling as it is, perhaps sailing isn't too far from the truth. Natalie Pinkham, good to have you with us here today. Your thoughts?
Well, first and foremost, I'm looking forward to staying dry here in the commentary box. Thank goodness. The rain, though, does add an extra level of spice, doesn't it?
Okay, mate, everyone is starting on dry tyres here, so we will do the same.
Is it not wet enough?
Correct, it's right on that weird crossover point.
You hear it there, so we're starting on dries on a pretty damp track.
Here we go then, the formation lap is underway. These are wet conditions here today. Each driver will no doubt be mindful of the wet surface as they prepare to race around the track.
Everybody starting on the medium compound tire. The question is, will the rain get heavier? Will we get to a point where we need to switch over to an intermediate? I don't think it's going to happen because the rain is supposed to stay basically the same all Grand Prix.
As the cars make their way back to the starting grid to form up and get ready for lights out, let's hope the race ahead today is a thrilling one that will go down as a memorable Grand Prix in the history books.
All right, Mark, just keep me updated here on what's going to happen.
Will do, be ready for anything.
It is important to note Bridgestone has brought another new tire here this weekend. So it's not the original tire, but it's not the same tire as last episode either. It's one that's supposed to increase pit stops at some tracks now and make the two-stop a viable option, but not all tracks it does that. So like here, it's a one-stop strategy, but from mediums to hards. So we're going to kind of test it. It's not the perfect testing ground because of the track conditions, but we'll at least get an idea for it. 27 laps of racing here, and we are lights out, and we are underway from the French Grand Prix. Aiden Jackson with a poor start. Jamie Chadwick as well under attack. Alex Albon with the new Ferrari team trying to move forward, and I think he's going to go through all the way into second place. What a start from Albon, as now Chadwick tries to maintain third. Aiden Jackson, though, is going to get ahead as he's going to take that third position back. Here we go. We see some battling all throughout the field now as we head down towards this braking zone. Felipe Drugovich, of course, a lot of ground to make up here today. He's going to go alongside the BMW Andretti machine, as he's got a few of them to pass as well. Up ahead you can see the Lamborghini of Marino Sato. What a qualifying effort from him. Same for Zane Maloney, but we exit out here in P1, 4 tenths ahead of Alex Albon, who has incredible speed in the straight line in that Ferrari. Down the long straightaway we go, and alongside into the braking zone. Who's going to give it up? No one's going to give it up here. Testing out the waters immediately, or quite literally testing out the waters, because it is quite a damp circuit, but Albon is able to take the position, and now Aiden Jackson is going to close in on this battle. As you guys know, the AI always have OP speed on the opening lap, and now Jackson's going to show his nose, and he's actually going to run into the side of us right there, push us a little bit wide. We keep it on circuit, and we stay ahead in that second position. Just pretty minor contact right there with the defending world champion of Aiden Jackson. So now we can kind of settle in and see what we can do here at the conclusion of this first and opening lap. So we didn't even lead a lap yet so far, unfortunately, here in France, but we have plenty of time, and hopefully that reliability in this car is going to be able to stick with us all Grand Prix long here. Now, we have won at France before, if you guys remember, in a last lap fight actually against Lando Norris at the time when he was with the Mercedes team here. As we approach already lap 3, DRS was enabled, so they did not deem the track to be in a wet state, which is not surprising.
How do the dry tyres feel?
It's fine.
Plenty of grip out here.
Lots of grip, guys.
Yeah, grip is fine, we're good.
You hear a few drivers talking about the grip on the track, and I was in line with it as well, as you could hear. I mean, it feels pretty good out here. Now, it's not 100%, but it's good enough to be on this dry compound tire. But you can see coming to the end of lap 3, Albon and that Ferrari starting to slip and slide a little bit, and that's going to leave him vulnerable on the front straightaway with the DRS. Setting the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Here we go, wheel to wheel down towards turn 1. Can we get the job done side by side with the 2-time World Drivers' Champion of Alex Albon? He's not going to make it easy, but will come out in front here now, and he'll have to settle into second place, and of course he's going to have to defend over Aiden Jackson, who appears to be quite fast. Jamie Chadwick in the Connor Sport still running very solid right now in 4th place, just in front of that 5th spot driver of George Russell. Dragovic, while that was all going down and making some headway here, he's actually going up against the sister team for this Audi Red Bull now. That's Zane Maloney and the Audi Williams, and these two would continue wheel to wheel down towards the next braking zone here, and Maloney's not making it easy. He's not just going to roll over for Dragovic there. They nearly come together, and right here they do bang side pods on the front wheel of Dragovic, and then he's really going to send it in there and try to get the job done, and finally he would clear Maloney and run away from P9 here. As you can see, here comes now, as that's all happening, Albon again back up my inside, Jackson into the equation as well, but we defend over that one well enough to stay ahead and try to get away from those two who are going to continue side by side. That's exactly what you want to see, of course, if you're the leader of the race. Those guys really fighting each other going into this long sweeping right-hander where they'll continue wheel to wheel. Jackson with the advantage though in that McLaren Toyota, but hold on, Albon's going to try and fight back, but not enough now. Jackson through into second place. The pace out of Jackson right now in this McLaren looks to be very, very strong. We'll have to wait and see what happens here now as we come towards the end of lap 4. Actually, a very sloppy third sector start for myself here now as we approach only lap 5 of this Grand Prix. It's been action-packed so far, but Jackson immediately starts closing on me. And now, as you can see, as we come to the DRS straight, I mean, you're defenseless on this straight depending on where that car behind you is, and sure enough, Aiden Jackson gonna breeze past us into the braking zone. But look at the gap to Albon. He is starting to fade. Something's gone definitely wrong with that Ferrari. You have to wonder maybe if he overpushed his tires a little bit now as we fight back on the inside of Aiden Jackson, but it's just going to be silly to try and go side by side into this right bend in the damp conditions, so I let him have it. But look at this. Albon is under fire. Jamie Chadwick, George Russell, they're going wheel to wheel. Callie Mayer just behind, and then Oliver Behrman, the rookie as well. But here goes Mayer up the inside of Russell, who kind of got pushed out wide from Chadwick, and now Callie Mayer into P5 for Trackhouse here as we continue to settle in behind Aiden Jackson. The goal really was to just try and stick with Aiden because his pace was really looking good at this point in time now. Last episode we saw the strengths of this Red Bull Audi with this new Bridgestone tire were the long run. Now this is a different tire than last episode, so I'll be curious to see if that strength remains the same. Callie Mayer, another spot gain, lap 6. She goes around the outside of Jamie Chadwick. There she goes into 4th place now as we have 2 women drivers inside the top 5. It really shows you just how far that we've come in Formula 1, at least in the career mode side of things now. Of course, not the same in real life now as we continue on. Russell able to slip through actually and get past Jamie Chadwick there, but now the gap to Jackson unfortunately increasing, so I wasn't quite able to maintain with him, and now he has gotten outside of the DRS range here, so not what I want to see. Albon still 2 seconds back, Callie Mayer a few seconds back from him, but I think she's going to find a way to run him down here momentarily here. Lap 7, 1.4, 1.5 seconds the gap now. Jackson quite simply driving away. 1.7 it would even get up to, and here's now lap 8. Callie Mayer up the inside of Albon into the sweeping right-hander. Can she get the job done? Albon's going to try and keep it around the outside here, but it seems like the Ferrari has great, kind of launch pace, but not the pace that you want as the laps go on. As he drops to 4th, Yuri Vips outside the points again. He's had a rough couple of races so far for his new Ferrari opportunity now, and I think Callie Mayer's won out, honestly, by getting the no-go for Ferrari and going to Trackhouse instead. But look at the gap suddenly to Aiden Jackson. We've closed within 9/10 of a second, and then by turn 1, we're really closing in 8/10, 7/10 now, as that McLaren is starting to slip and slide around as the medium tires are starting to wear on his car, and it's opening up the door wide open for me to get right back into this fight. We are 4 seconds ahead of the cars behind, and that's a gap that's really just increasing right now, and now we continue to put some pressure on Jackson. Look at him into this final couple of corners. Look at the power slide there. The McLaren really struggling on these older tires. Our pit window is not far away. We're just a few laps outside of the pit window now, as actually Leclerc, he's going to come in already from the midfield. Of course, he missed getting into Q2, and he had to start way down the order. Now he has got a lot of work to do still. Here we go with DRS now on Aiden Jackson. He defends to the left side of the circuit. We go to the right side as we head towards the braking zone. We're going to be pretty even here into the chicane. Can we get the job done? We continue wheel to wheel. Jackson not going to make it easy, but I'm going to try and get him right here on the exit. We just have the power down. We have the grip. We get ahead. We take the lead finally of the French Grand Prix after losing it on the opening lap here, and then of course getting it back briefly from Albon. Jackson would pass us back again and take off, but now you can see as I actually make a mistake right there, but we stay ahead. We just have better tire management, it seems like, now than this McLaren does. We saw it in Austria with Dragovic running down Leclerc at the end of that Grand Prix, a completely different tire in Austria compared to now. But still, we saw it happen there, and the gap was now over a second as we come to lap 12. Callie Mayer 5 seconds behind. So what was interesting to me, it was Callie Mayer's losing less time to me than Aiden Jackson was losing time to me. But as we come towards the end of the lap, Jackson's actually going to pit coming to the start of lap 13, which caught me off guard a little bit. I get a warning for exceeding track limits, a really poor final turn, but Jackson pits. My pit window wasn't open until lap 14. However, this is going to force our hand, so Jackson's going to come in, get the hard compound tire on. One lap can make a heck of a difference, so instead of waiting till the end of lap 14, we're going to come in now, throw a bit of an audible. We got to come in and make this pit stop to make sure, of course, that we can be as close to Aiden Jackson as possible, because the likelihood is he's going to be out in front of me at the conclusion of this pit cycle here. You can see him on the track map. He's got a lot of traffic to work his way through, but we're going to exit the pits now, actually inside of another car. I think that's Callie Mayer, as that's a terribly unsafe pit release, but fortunately that's not going to hurt us. Now Aiden Jackson rolls past, and look at the gap, way larger of a gap than I actually anticipated. We're going to be about over 3 seconds behind the defending world champ, so we've got some work to do. Nearly 4 seconds, and as this lap goes on, of course, you have to warm up the tires, so that would mean the gap would increase to over 5 seconds by the end of this lap here now, as we have trouble. Marino Sato, who started inside the top 10 with a mechanical failure, and Lamborghini, of course, not wanting to see that. Sato's day comes to an end. No virtual safety car, no safety car. We continue racing green here now. 5.4 seconds to Aiden Jackson. Mayer is only 2.2 seconds back. She's been able to close in on me over the course of the green flag pit cycle in these few laps that we've been racing now. Albon 4th. Leclerc runs P5. But he has to pit again. He's on another set of medium, so he's trying to two-stop this race, but I just don't think the two-stop's a very viable option in these damp conditions, and that's going to be proven here now. If it was a totally dry race, and maybe he started as well further up the grid, I'd be really curious to see what that two-stop strategy would actually do. But yeah, Bridgestone, like I said, they brought a new tire, and it's supposed to increase some two-stop strategies here and there, but sometimes one-race strategies are still going to be prominent, and we're seeing that with the mediums to hard strategy here today. So let me know what you kind of think about the tire. It's not a great opportunity today because of the damp conditions, but now the gap continuing to close to Jackson, 4.3 seconds, so we've reeled him in by 1 second as we approach 10 laps to go. Now let's go through the grid.
Jackson leads with 10 laps to go here in France, but Owen has been closing a bit here, now just over 4 seconds between the two.
I think Owen will get there. Remember in Austria, the Red Bull seemed to have the best tyre management. We saw it today at the end of the first run as well. A slightly different tyre Bridgestone has brought today, however, as they don't wear quite as much as last time out, but they are trying to find the right balance.
Leclerc runs 5th, but he still has to make another pit stop. Russell and Behrman run just behind. How about Lando Norris as well? He's showing the pace in that Lamborghini to be quite competitive, Ted.
Yeah, Crofty, he has looked pretty good today. A weird race, obviously with a damp track all day long, but not quite wet enough for an actually wet tyre. Shout out to BMW Andretti, running up in 14th and 15th, with their new team principal, Fernando Alonso, who will be joining us on the radio next time out in Spa.
Drogovic there into 10th, as Yuri Vips runs a few seconds behind in 11th. Gasly trails in 12th.
Vips really hasn't clicked yet with this Ferrari. No points in Austria for the whole team. Albon, however, runs in 4th, but we've seen him fade as these laps go on.
It's still early in the season, so it's too early to judge yet, but Ferrari does seem to have pace they haven't had in recent seasons. The change to V10 engines has seemed to be a nice boost for the team.
Only time will tell, but it's good to see promising signs from the team.
If you've paid attention to the gap, you would see it's continued to close to Aiden Jackson, now 3.4 seconds. Charles Leclerc, though, right at the end of lap 18, coming in for his second and final stop. Another driver that's on the same strategy, the BMW Andretti driver, Oscar Piastri, of course, a new team for him this season, as he's continued to just struggle in this career mode, but manages to keep a ride here. Now, less than 10 laps to go at this point. The gap to Calimere, 3.2, 3.3 seconds, as now, yellow flags behind. Oh my goodness, it's Alex Albon who's gone around in the Ferrari. Some things never change. Albon has looped it all on his own, as well take an onboard look, and sure enough, the typical spin.
Sorry guys, I just lost it.
You hear it there? He just lost it. And Albon of old right now. I mean, what is going on with Alex Albon? No points, unfortunately, due to his mechanical failure last episode, but we saw a great pace. And is this a sign that maybe the McLaren wasn't actually the problem? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But as Albon was going, he burned up those tires and he was continuing to struggle. He was now under pressure from his teammate of Yuri Vips and fading. Here we go. Now, for 9th place, Yuri Vips, who's rebounded inside the points, is going to go around the outside of Albon. He'll take P9. Albon drops to P10, but Gasly right there as well. And the Mercedes maybe ready to pounce on Albon. Here we go. Lap 22 at this point. And sure enough, now side-by-side battle between these two. A home race, of course, for the Frenchman of Pierre Gasly, who would love to finish inside the points. And at the rate he's going, that's going to happen. Into P10, Albon drops to P11, and the battles are continuing all over the circuit. Jamie Chadwick, Lando Norris, and the Lamborghini, they go wheel to wheel, and my goodness, Norris nearly runs through off circuit, but now Chadwick goes through into P6 now. Behrman 5th, a great second race for him. Drogovic has been continuing to rebound all day. P8 now going for P7 alongside Norris as they head down towards the sweeping right-hander. Is Norris going to back out of it? My goodness, he tries to keep it sent there around the left side. Look at that. Drogovic, the Brazilian, and the last episode winner right there, just shuts the door. Into P7 he goes. He might be able to get P6 before it's over from Jamie Chadwick for a very solid rebound. The gap to Jackson continues to close. He's starting to struggle on the older hard compound tires at this point. The gap to Mare still about 3 seconds. That really hasn't changed. Calimere has a great pace here today in the Trackhouse car. Russell 12 seconds back, nearly 13. Behrman 14 and a half back at this point now, but still, like I said, a really solid second race effort from Oliver Behrman, already impressing as a rookie here. But now you can see up there, Jackson still slipping and sliding, struggling. Now 1.1, 1.0, we're about to be within the DRS. As we get back around to the front straightaway, we are within DRS now, as he has a big slide through the final couple of corners. That's going to continue to reduce the gap to within now 7/8 tenths of a second. We've actually opened up the gap by a whole second suddenly to Calimere, so I think she had a bit of a moment as well. But now down through turns 1 and 2, you can see Jackson just does not have the grip in these closing 4 laps, but we do. DRS at the end of the long straight wasn't quite close enough to make a send right there, so we're just going to be patient. We have a good gap to Calimere that we don't have to worry about. We got 3 laps to work with once we get back to the line, so we can really just make a move here on the front straightaway this time around. Jackson this time actually has has the grip to just keep that car planted as I slip and slide around, but again, another slide from Jackson. Here we go. This is going to be the moment where he's going to be vulnerable. Now, out of the final turn, looking to win our first race with Red Bull Audi. DRS activated, ERS in overtake mode. Jackson, can he defend? He's going to go to the left. We're going to swing to the right side as we head deep into turn 1, wheel to wheel with Aiden Jackson, and contact. He's locked up and we've spun round.
What a stupid little... I mean, come on, man. I mean, what the heck is he doing?
You hear the radio, not impressed at all, as we're going to regroup in P3. Callie Mayer into second place. We're going to get a look at it. We're going to slow down the film to really get a look at it, actually, and watch the left front tire of Aiden Jackson right there. It's locked up. He misses the apex. We make contact. We go around. Thank you, Aiden Jackson. I mean, we go side by side into turn 1, and Aiden Jackson doesn't know how to control, of course, his brakes. So that's pretty thrilling, as we're going to try and continue on now and see what we can do. So we decided a chance to win the Grand Prix, and now it's over due to that moment there from Jackson, who's now probably going to cruise to victory, as it was deemed a racing incident, no penalty to Aiden Jackson. The question is, can we go rebound and at least get second place from Callie Mayer before this is over, because we got the pace to do it for sure. We just got to be patient here, but of course aggressive at the same time, as we now use the DRS to be as close as we can to start this final lap of the Grand Prix that's on the way now. Still, I mean, at least it's a podium, but a very disappointing podium this is turning into, as we should be leading this Grand Prix. Mayer starting to slip and slide here as we approach the final lap, no different than Aiden Jackson, and we've been closing on Jackson even after the contact in the spin. Final lap underway here from the French Grand Prix here in Circuit Paul Ricard, and now right to the back of the track house. What a drive from Callie Mayer today. Absolutely amazing, and as well Trackhouse in general. Both cars are going to be in the top 5 with Ollie Behrman, the rookie as well. Mayer continues to manage the gap now as we head down the long back straightaway for the final time, but she stays ahead. I was not close enough to make a move, so we would just have to follow her into the start of Sector 3. And actually Jackson driving away now 4.5 seconds ahead, as now we're just hoping maybe that the Trackhouse is going to do exactly that right there, slip and slide around. Now the opportunity is going to grow. Now Mayer still able to get the power down, so she keeps the gap by about 0.3 of a second to myself. But here we go through the final few turns. She slides again. We're going to go for it, a move up the inside into the final turn. We keep it spacious over there on the left side. Aiden Jackson's going to win. Mayer exits ahead, but we have the DRS and overtaken. Here we go. We have the momentum, a drag race to the line, and it's going to be Mayer winning by about 1/4 of a car length.
Great drive, great drive. Everyone here is really happy with that performance. Well done, mate.
I mean, P3's cool, guys. A good day again, but I mean, we should be at the top step, so thanks to Aiden.
What a fantastic Grand Prix that was, and an excellent win for McLaren. Natalie Pinkham, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
Well, confidence breeds confidence. Success breeds success. They are very much enjoying a purple patch right now.
A frustrating end, of course, and it's Aiden Jackson who's able to get the victory, unfortunately, which is extremely frustrating following the contact that him and I had, of course, into that first corner. But, I mean, it is what it is, but yeah, I mean, we will focus in on the next Grand Prix, of course, ahead of us here, which is going to be exciting, because in the next episode we are headed to Belgium. So Spa for the Belgian Grand Prix, that should be an opportunity, I think, for us. That's a track that's treated us pretty well in terms of race pace, so I'm hoping that we can go to there and be able to get that first win of the season. Dragovic with a really solid rebound drive here today. He would actually end up P6 there, so we did pass Jamie Chadwick, who ends up P7. Russell 4th, Behrman 5th, rounding out the points there. Lando Norris. Gasly actually drops to P11. Norris was really on the move, and Albon ends up 12th. Leclerc was on the move as well. So that two-stop strategy can definitely work. I think Leclerc proved that. You just got to be further up the grid. We're 6 points back from Aiden Jackson going into the Belgian Grand Prix, but we lead the constructors by 6 points over McLaren Toyota. I'll see you guys in the next one from Spa. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.